Welcome back everybody to the daily show where we discuss and do technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So before we get started, please smash that like button, and 100 plus likes on this video would be greatly appreciated, guys. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now if you want to support the channel and get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, definitely check out their link down below in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into it, guys. On Apple, stock is down just over 1%, and Apple gapping down from the support on Friday 166.55 and now trading below 166 and holding on to lower Bollinger Band right here as a support 164.73. So that's gonna be your line in the sand for tomorrow, Monday morning, right at opening 164.73. Below that, you're going to see more dump off right here on Apple stock down to this support 162.28, and then we also have a gap down here around 158. Now any snapback to the upside, watch out. Now there will be resistance at 166.55 right here, and Apple can break and hold that level right here. Then you're going to see continuation to the upside up to possibly 168.42, 5-day moving average, and then 170. Apple can actually break and hold 170, then definitely you're going to see a lot more upside on Apple stock. Until then, guys, I know it looks like a falling knife. Guess what? I actually bought some more shares on Friday. Even with earnings coming up, this is actually a great opportunity if you're buying and going long here on Apple stock. This thing can definitely offer up more upside. Once we go through this correction, you're going to see Apple going back up to the upside, and this downtrend at some point will end, and that is when a lot of people will chase at a higher price. And now, if you're not buying Apple stock right here at this level, I don't know when you're going to actually go and buy Apple stock. This is actually a great opportunity. Apple extremely oversold, and now that is pulling back down to 162 and possibly down to that gap right here 158. That's gonna be a great opportunity to buy Apple stock and hold it at least couple months, and you're going to see Apple actually going back up, and this downtrend will end at some point, and it might be ending with this earnings right here that is coming next month. So let me know your thoughts on that. I'm definitely interested buying even more shares of Apple if this thing dips down to 158, down to that gap, and possibly even lower, because the lower I can buy, I can sell and make more money when this thing goes back up to the upside. And this is definitely the safest company out there to buy and hold. So Apple stock, nothing but a dip buying opportunity. But of course, it all depends how you guys wanna actually buy and hold, or if you want to buy and hold, and if you agree that Apple is definitely worth buying at this level. On Microsoft, is down 1.27%, so big sell-off here on Microsoft. It's getting extremely oversold, trading under lower Bollinger Band, which is sitting at 404.40 right here, and the stock itself not even trading at 400. We also have earnings coming out from Microsoft this week on 25th, and that's going to be a big one to move this market either to the upside or maybe more dump off to the downside. So be careful. There's going to be lots of volatility this week in this market with big earnings from Microsoft, Google, and Tesla. Going into tomorrow's session, guys, opening below 400. That opens the door for a move down to this gap 390, and that should be a strong support right here for a bounce on Microsoft. Also, if Microsoft can actually open above 400, that actually opens the door for a move up to 404.40 to retrace lower Bollinger Band, and possibly can come up and possibly can set a lower high right here and retest 5-day moving average 408.69 and then 413. So watch out above 400, a little bit more upside up to 404.40 up to even 408.69 to retest 5-day moving average and possibly set a lower high. But below 400, the sell-off can continue up until earnings all the way down to this gap 390, and then we also have support down here at 384, and then all the way down here at 380 down to this gap 376. On Nvidia, stock is down finally 10%. So we have not seen Nvidia going down 10%. It's been a long time where Nvidia stock actually went down 10% in just one day. Now this was the fear. And people that are subscribed to my channel, I've been talking about it in my video over and over that what's going to happen to this market? Who's going to save this market if Nvidia stock goes down 5 to 10% in just one day, goes down like 70, 80 bucks, maybe even 100, 150? Who's going to save, especially Nasdaq 100? And you guys saw that. And that is why never chase anything. So when Nvidia was trading here and I was talking about that same thing that Nvidia can pull back really hard, and if that happens, market will come down. Now I got a comment on that video, and this person goes like, Nvidia 1000, I'm already thinking about 1500 in 2 months. Well, 2 months already passed by, I think, or at least month and a half. And yes, Nvidia got close to 1000, but you gotta know where you're buying things at all-time highs. Nothing wrong with being bullish, but you cannot afford to buy something when this thing was trading at what, $110, $11 just about 2 years ago, or not even that, year and a half, and now trading at 1000, and you're already thinking about 1500. That is called FOMO, guys. And now you can see what happens when you go and chase a big name like Nvidia near 1000. Look at this dump off, huge dump off, and that can actually continue even more. And if that happens, market will pull back even harder. And that is why never chase anything when things are up, extremely overbought. Just ignore it. You don't have to short it. Just ignore it. Play something else. Nvidia stock. Now that is the biggest concern for this market. We got all these gaps down here. Now yes, we can get a counter trend rally, possibly back up to 800. That is totally possible on Nvidia stock. But imagine after that, Nvidia pulls back again down to this gap and possibly these gaps down here. What's going to happen? That's going to bring down the whole market. So be careful, especially getting into Nvidia and thinking that you're catching the bottom right here. There might be more downside on Nvidia stock. Yes, I'm not denying we could see a counter trend rally early as tomorrow. That does not guarantee that this is actually the bottom. I mean, look at this weekly candle. Massive bearish engulfing candle. Also on this daily time frame, we got a big bearish engulfing candle with some high, really high volume selling on it on Friday. So the sell-off can continue. Possibly, we could see a bounce from 745 back up to 800 to even 840. And these are levels to watch to the upside. Now also, 745, this high right here, that's going to be a strong support to watch. If Nvidia gets down to this level tomorrow and options are really cheap, I can play something. I will definitely play right here at 745. But moment the stock takes out 745, guess what? Then this gap comes into play right here, 688, and we could see more dump off on Nvidia stock. So be careful. There's going to be lots of volatility here on Nvidia stock going into next week. On Meta, it's down over 4%, so another big dump off on Meta. We do have earnings coming out on the 24th, and now it's down over $20 on Friday. Now Meta here also, guys, if you look at my screen, from $88 up to all-time highs, 531.49, massive gains. And how we actually got there? Well, earnings, right? Gapping up and going. Every earnings and then buybacks, right? And now, finally, with this earnings right here, yes, things can come down definitely. And looks like early as tomorrow morning, we could see Meta coming down and closing this gap right here at 469. That's going to be a support to watch. But below that, Meta can come down even more, down to 452. Now to the upside, Meta goes right back up. Then watch out, it might be holding right here as it was holding on Friday, 479. Above 479, you're going to see a counter trend rally back up to 490 and possibly up to 5-day moving average 495 and then 20-day moving average 504.49. But a continuation to the downside, Meta can definitely come down and close this gap 469 early as tomorrow morning. And keep that in mind, we do have earnings coming out this week from Meta. On Amazon, stock is down 2.56%, so Amazon another big dump off. But Amazon, I mean, it's already up so much. So Amazon coming down, it's totally healthy. And now it's holding 173, came down to 173 and was holding right here as a support. And looks like below 173, this gap comes into play 170.23. So watch out for that as a support going into tomorrow's session. And below that, 167. To the upside, as long as Amazon can hold 173, the trend is definitely down on all these mega cap stocks. And Amazon now also joining the party, and the trend is down, trading below all these moving averages right here. So that is not bullish. Now Amazon goes back up, gets a bounce from 173, where this thing can go right here up to 50-day moving average 177, and then I would say 180 to 182, and that is it for this week on Amazon. Below 173, gap right here 170.23, and then we also have strong support at 167, and then this massive gap comes into play just below 160. On Google, stock is down just over 1%, so Google is the only stock that is holding up well right here at 155. Also, if you look at my screen, 155 gives up. You're going to see a drop all the way down to 150 to this lower Bollinger Band, down to even 148, 50-day moving average, and then this gap comes into play just below 145. So your line in the sand will be right down here, 155. To the upside, watch out for the resistance right here at 156.48, 5-day moving average, and Google can clear and hold that. Then watch out for more upside, possibly going back up to 160 plus. On Tesla, stock is down 1.92%, so Tesla getting another sell-off here on Friday and getting absolutely destroyed before earnings, and I think that is on Tuesday. So Tesla here reporting earnings on Tuesday night, so that's going to be a big catalyst for the market, and maybe this time they will beat the earnings and this thing can pump back up to the upside. It's getting extremely oversold, selling off for months. Yes, we got some counter trend rally here and there, but nothing big. It's been on a downtrend for a long time, over 6 months now. So here on Tesla, guys, watch out. 146, the gap is fully closed, and now that's going to be support to watch on Tesla. To the upside, now there will be resistance at 152, and then this gap 153.78 up to 161.38, and once we get up to 161.38, then we can possibly talk about more upside up to this 20-day moving average 168. Until then, watch the support 146 and the resistance right here 152, and then this gap 153.78. On AMD, it's down 5.44%, so big dump off on AMD as well. And now this gap is fully closed right here. We talked about it before, 148, and now getting under 148, getting extremely oversold, and the next support will be down here at 138. Why it's holding right here? Well, because of this Bollinger Band sitting at 149, it's trading below lower Bollinger Band, so we might see a retracement back up to the upside, and in that case, tomorrow, 148 to 149 will be a resistance right here on AMD, and above that, 155.90 up to even 164. Now, AMD continues to sell off next week and goes under and stays under 148. The next support will be down here, strong support 138, and who knows where this thing can go from here because it was up a ton. Look at this, almost 230, 227.30, and now it's coming down and selling off. So that is totally normal and healthy. This is not something like it's crashing or anything. It's still up big time. I mean, this thing was what, $56, $53, got up to 200 plus, almost 230, and now we're getting a pullback. So if we look at this weekly time frame, we can actually come back all the way down to this high right here, and that would be still healthy, guys, around 133. Also possibly can come down to 50 SMA right here on this weekly time frame, and that is in line with this high also, which is sitting at 133. So that is going to be the downside target on AMD, but also keep that in mind. When things come down in a really quick time, we could see a snapback to the upside, and if that happens, AMD can go back up all the way up to 155.90, I would say 156 5-day moving average, and then up to even 164 right here to retest this support. Now that's going to be a big resistance to watch on AMD. So Netflix going down 9%, so massive dump off on Netflix. And this thing here, I actually put out a trade idea on Netflix Friday morning. Anyone who got in at around 560, they actually made really good money on same day expiration, because immediately we saw Netflix opening at 567, getting down to this gap right here, and then immediately a big bounce back up to almost 580. And then we saw the selling continuing back down to the downside, and now it's not even holding here at 564 and pretty much holding right here just above 550. So that's going to be your line in the sand to watch going into tomorrow's session, 550. And then this gap comes into play, guys, just below 500 right here, 498.96. And that can happen. But yes, with this kind of sell-off where things are trading below lower Bollinger Band, which is sitting at 583. And why I was actually calling out to get some calls right here on Netflix, you can see right here, after opening at 567, getting down to almost 560 or below 560, we saw immediate retracement. At least it was trying to retrace lower Bollinger Band, went back up to 579, but rejection here, came back, market was selling off really hard. This thing had no chance, and now trading below 564. So next week, 550, that's going to be a strong support to watch. Any bounce we get, watch out for the resistance right here at 564, and above 564, we can possibly talk about more upside, and this thing can move back up to 588. Below 564 and below 550, you're going to see selling continuing all the way down to 528 and possibly filling this entire gap from last earnings, 498.96. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching.